Douglas Allen Bickford, broadcasting live from my hometown of Klamath Falls, Oregon, from my 105-year-old house here in Klamath Falls, Oregon, which is my hometown, and at 8:24 a.m. on the 15th of June 2022. Klamath Falls is the gateway to Crater Lake National Park, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I am on Facebook Live and YouTube for well over a year, teaching you all how to be positive about yourself and be positive, period, about everything, okay? The more that you are positive, the more positive will come to you. That's the way it works, okay? And the way to be positive about yourself and the world around you is to attain and maintain self-esteem out of this book right here, written by Dr. Susanna McMahon. Her degree is she has a doctorate in psychology. She also has a master's in philosophy. She went to school many years to learn the science of the mind, okay, and that's how the brain works. But she wrote this book in the 90s. It was published in 1992. And every chapter in this book talks about how we've been trained and taught not to love ourselves. And as a psychiatrist, she knew that her clients would hire her and pay her big bucks to fix their unhealthy minds. Okay. And as a psychiatrist, she knew that the only way she could fix their unhealthy minds is for them to attain self-esteem and maintain it. What self-esteem is, it's how you feel about yourself inside. It's also known as self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. You can think of self-esteem as this, right? Most people don't even know what the 2 words even mean, okay? We all have been in romantic relationships, okay? And that good feeling that you have towards that other person, that's what self-esteem is towards yourself, okay? So, you all know what I'm talking about. You've been in many romantic relationships, right? Just like me. And, you know, they can do no wrong. They walk on water. You're bragging to all your friends and family about how great these people are. I mean, it feels super good, right? You know, when you first meet that person. Okay, well, that's what self-esteem is towards yourself. Okay, that good feeling. So, Dr. Susanna McMahon knew she had to get her clients to get self-esteem before she could fix their unhealthy mind. Because like I said, you can't have a healthy mind unless you have self-esteem, right? So she came up with a very simple concept. It's called mirror therapy. She say 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily. This is what she came up with to tell her clients to do so they could give themselves self-esteem, because nobody can give you self-esteem except for you, okay? So, say 4 things to themselves in the mirror. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to love. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm also full of goodness. Say those 4 things to yourself in the mirror. daily for the rest of your life, and it'll give you self-esteem. But to maintain that self-esteem, you have to practice it. It's like lifting weights, okay? If you lift weights and then you stop, you have to start over again. Self-esteem is the exact same thing for the brain. Those 4 things to yourself in the mirror will instantaneously give you self-esteem, okay? But in order to maintain that self-esteem, you have to practice it daily. Because you'll lose it if you don't, okay? So literally, I say 4 things to yourself in the mirror. I love Douglas Allen Bickford. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I'm full of goodness. Less than 10 seconds, folks, will give you self-esteem, and say it daily instead of criticizing yourself in the mirror. And it will give you self-esteem, and you will maintain it. So that's why you have to say it daily. The other reason she came up with mirror therapy is because we cannot lie to ourselves in the mirror. It's a psychological event that happens in your brain, and she knew it as a psychiatrist. She knows it as a psychiatrist. She's 73, lives in Madrid, Texas with her husband, okay? And you can't find much out about this lady. That's why I'm her spokesperson. But she knew that as a psychiatrist, you couldn't lie to yourself in the mirror, because what a psychiatrist does is study the science of the mind and how the brain works. She went to school for 10 years to learn the brain so she could become a psychiatrist. So she knew, that's why she came up with mirror therapy, because we can't lie to ourselves in the mirror. So it's very easy for you to say bad things about yourself in the mirror. And you all know what I'm talking about. We get older and we start talking trash about ourselves in the mirror. She knew that they could. So you do that because you are talking, that's how you feel about yourself. You can't say good things to yourself in the mirror because you don't feel good about yourself. And those 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily are very good things, but you can't say it because you can't lie to yourself in the mirror. So the very first time you do it, folks, you'll have to force yourself to do it, like I had to do, okay? But I did it because she told me to do it in her book, and I did it, and it works. Trust me, it worked on me, okay? And it can work on you too, if you force yourself to do it. Instead of turning me off when I tell you to do that, or calling me crazy or whatever, okay? Anyway, so the reason that self-esteem is so important, okay? We can't be content without it, okay? And what content is, you feel good about how, where, and what you are. It's also known as internal peace. There are 11 things that people are using to try to be content. They are Facebook, which I call fake book, drugs, alcohol, sex, food, gambling, religion, television, another person, material possessions, or money. 11 things. Those 11 things are known as externals. They're outside of yourself. There's absolutely only one thing that will give you internal peace, and that's to attain and maintain self-esteem. But those 11 things will make you temporarily content, okay? But it never lasts, okay? You know what I'm talking about. The drug high wears off. The alcohol buzz goes away. So you have to do more of both of those to get the same good feeling, okay? But it's never permanent, okay? And then the other 9 things are exactly the same thing. The like on Facebook, right? It makes you feel good to get somebody to like your Facebook post or whatever it is you put up on Facebook. But it's never permanent. So you have to do more Facebook, just like the drugs and the alcohol, right? So anyway, and then the other 8 things are exactly the same thing. Never permanent. And like I said, the absolute only way that you're going to be permanently content, have internal peace, is to say 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily for the rest of your life. And then, like I said, it'll take you less than 10 seconds. Okay. The other thing about self-esteem, without it, we can't love or be loved. Okay. So what happens is you meet somebody just like you, okay, that doesn't have self-esteem in a romantic relationship. And then you know that good feeling that you had. When that good feeling goes away, whether you marry him or you don't marry him, which you think is love, okay, which is understandable because it feels really good, right? I've had it many times, or, you know, I've had it enough times to know what that feeling is, okay? But anyway, so that good feeling goes away, and then the relationship becomes toxic. I'm talking about 2 people without self-esteem here. And then the fights, the arguments, the cheating on each other, the going to the bars and picking up strange people to have sex with, the drinking, the drug use, the lies, the secrets that go on, the emotional, physical, and sexual abuse all starts. And then because that relationship turned toxic, because 2 people got in with no self-esteem, there's 3 things that'll happen, okay? You'll divorce or separate, split up, right? And then those same 2 people will go jump back into another relationship looking for love, and you'll find somebody without self-esteem. The exact same thing will happen, okay? The second thing that'll happen, and 2 people that got together with no self-esteem, you'll stay in that relationship forever, okay? And you'll take the emotional, sexual, and physical abuse because you don't want to be a failure. You can't be alone. You don't want to be an embarrassment to all your family and friends. You have nowhere to go. You're afraid to leave, okay? So then you'll stay in that terrible relationship for many years. There's a lot of people doing that too, okay? And then at that point, you know, all the bad stuff's going on between those 2 people, 2 kids, and they'll have kids, and at that point it becomes a dysfunctional family, okay? And then the dysfunctional family produces more dysfunctional families. And so this goes down the line, the cycle continues, okay? Then the last thing that'll happen, the 2 people that got in together with no self-esteem, they will just say, screw it. I am done with the romantic relationships. I can't find anybody to love me. I can't find anybody to love. Okay, and that's because you don't have self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, self-love. And you're just as miserable alone, just like you were miserable in that relationship. That's when you use the 11 things to try to make yourself feel better, because you cannot be content. You can't have internal peace without self-esteem, okay? But I have the cure for all of those, and it comes from a psychiatrist, Dr. Susanna McMahon, okay? That is to say the 4 things to yourself in the mirror. All the parties involved in all these toxic relationships, or the people that are miserable out there alone, sitting behind the boob tube, right? are using the 11 things to try to make themselves feel good, right? Is those 4 things to yourself in the mirror. Everybody does it. And then get the book, The Portable Therapist, and do the many other concepts in this book. Not only just read this book, apply there's many more concepts in this book that will fix your unhealthy mind, and it'll fix your toxic relationships if all the parties involved did the very simple concept of the 4 things to yourself in the mirror and get this book and do the rest of the concepts in it. It is that simple, folks, to fix all these, your messed up life. It'll give you a healthy mind, okay? Because that's why she wrote the book, okay? So anyway, I am going through this book one lesson at a time, and here's that next lesson. Oh man, my book broke apart here. I'm gonna have to get a new copy of this. It's in 3 pieces. Look at this. I mean, I bought a used copy, so I guess I should have bought a new one. I'll probably have to get a new one. Anyway, here we go. It's lesson 30. How then will I know when I am okay? Parts of you are okay right now. The only thing to worry about is why you are choosing not to love yourself right now as you are. And the 4 things to yourself in the mirror, and I'll say it again, will give you self-love, and it'll make it so you do love yourself. As soon as you make the choice to practice self-esteem, okay, and that's what I just told you to do, how to do it, you will put yourself on the path of being rather than doing. Remember, the being model does not judge or compare. You are what you are at the moment. If you want to feel better about yourself, you begin to act in loving ways toward yourself. You ask yourself the question, how do I feel right now? All the time, and no matter what your response is, you act lovingly toward yourself. You begin to act. Oh, wait. Okay, so I just messed that up. You ask yourself the question, how do I feel about me right now? All the time, no matter what your response is, you act lovingly towards yourself. If you feel that you hate yourself, remember you are making that choice. It's all about a choice, folks. You can make the choice. You can do it right now. Put me on hold. Or put me on pause. Okay. Go say I love you in the mirror and the other 3 things. It helps to separate ourselves from our behaviors. It is easier and much less painful to hate our behavior than it is to hate ourselves. If you hate your behavior, try to think of something different that you can do next time. Make amends. Forgive yourself. Let go. After time, you'll find that it becomes much easier to choose behaviors that will work in a positive, reinforcing way. You will want to believe in ways that make you feel comfortable about yourself, and it will become more difficult to do things which cause you discomfort. It will become second nature to choose behaviors that you like and that enhance your positive feelings about yourself. You will begin to feel more in control of yourself and more proud of yourself and more okay. The entire process becomes a lovingly reinforcing circle. You practice loving yourself, you practice loving behaviors, and you find it becomes easier to love yourself. Wow. And you can all have it, and you can all get it. by saying the four things to yourself in the mirror. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I am full of goodness. And when you start doing that, I can be your mentor, and I'll encourage you to keep doing good things to yourself in the mirror and other good things to yourself. 458-232-5238. Call me anytime, day or night. Okay. I'm going to have another lesson for you tomorrow. How do I accept myself just as I am, which is lesson 31. Now, I got to tell you, folks, you got to be positive. Okay. And the reality is, you can't be positive if you're using drugs, alcohol to make yourself feel better. Those are negative things. They destroy not only your mind or not only your body, they destroy your mind, they destroy your soul, your spirit, your conscience, whatever you want to call it, your spirituality. Okay. They destroy all those things. Mind, body, and soul. Okay. That's why they're so negative. And you can't be positive if you're using those substances to make yourself feel better. Because you got to remember that good feeling's only temporary with that stuff. And I mean, with drugs and alcohol, right? And the only way to get internal peace is to attain and maintain self-esteem. Okay. And you know what you do when you drink. Okay. And you know what you do when you do drugs. You do things that you wouldn't normally do. Okay. All right. So anyway, you all have a great day out there. I'm going to have another lesson for you tomorrow. Like I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow.